Hey, coming at you folks with fixing up the farm on the old Wi-Fi signal. We've had the signal on the farm since about 2011, and today we're upgrading the signal on the farm. We've got one of these wavelength Wi-Fi 7 outdoor units, and we're replacing basically an older outdoor Wi-Fi unit that's just getting too old. I believe it does 800 on the 5G, and it maybe does like 300 on the 2.4G. This one is totally different. This one's rated for a heck of a lot faster speeds. The rating on it I think is like 10 times as much or something. It's absolutely crazy how much more it is. It's a bigger, bulkier unit, and that's a little different. It's got, if I get this right, dual bands, and the 2.4 is going to be close to 700, and the 5 gigabytes is close to 4,000, like 4,300. Again, coming from one that was like 300 and 800 to going to 700 and 4,300 is fantastic. It's also waterproof. It's got twice as many antennas. It's outdoor rated for rain and snow. And they're omnidirectional antennas. I'm really hoping this works out well. It can be powered over its little PoE switch here. It's a little switch that you just plug in, and then the internet right now is going to come from my computer as I set this up, and then I've plugged it into the bottom of the machine using all their cables at the moment. I won't be able to do that on the farm because I'll have to run a Cat 5e cable to it. Once I plugged it in, it popped up a screen. I went in and configured it. I put it into AP mode. I know some people use these as bridge modes where you're just, picking up a Wi-Fi signal and extending it. But I need the better speed on the farm. So I'm going to plug one end of the Cat 5e into the open port of our router hubs. And then I'm going to take that over to the house and then plug it into this device. Well, I should say, plug it into this device, and then eventually when this one's up and running, I'll unplug the old one. That way I'll leave the old one run until everything's switched over to this new one. And the setup here on the screen was really easy. Literally, it was like, what time zone are you in? Pick which mode you want. Do you want it in bridge mode, AP, or mesh mode? And I want it in AP, so it's going to put out a signal, and then I can attach temperatures and camera things to it wirelessly. In where my router is where I installed the PoE switch. So I plug it in, which is why it's lit up green, and then I screw it in with 2 screws, and then one cable goes up and around and into my Wi-Fi hub, so basically it gets internet, and then the other cable, which you saw on the workbench there, was too short obviously, but it will be a new cable that I'll wire from this all the way out to the unit. And as long as I guess it's under 100 meters or like 300 some feet, it should work great. So I got this wired over the top and it going into my little hub here, and that goes to my router. So that's where it's getting its internet from. Take that box full of wire. I'm going to run that all the way into this top part of it and then outside to the unit. So I'm going to take off the cord it came with here. There's a little waterproof plug at the end. I'm going to take this one off. So it's going to be done. And I'm going to start running this wire. My daughter and I, Julia, are running it here in the farm. And remember, this is an old farmhouse, folks. So, when you get a house that's pushing close to 20 years old, you're going to have wires and different methods in here. So it took us a bit to run across the ceiling and come out. And that's the old one. Yes, it's just a 2 little antenna, little device. It's what it is. It's given me my best years. I'll give it that much. Technology's changed a lot. Once I got the wire out, I had to get one of these 8-pin crimping pliers and crimp an end on it, and I followed the internet to make sure I put the wires in the right order in it. And then I put these industrial zips, and I zipped it right onto the downspout, which is where I wanted it. And I made sure that this time I got it angled in the proper direction. The previous one was angled right for when I installed it, but now I've got things that are more to the south, so I want it angled more to the south. Now maybe I don't even need to do that with these omnidirectional antennas this thing's got, and these are beastie antennas. The other ones are kind of light little plastic coated wire antennas. These things are like a beastie plastic coated fiberglass antenna with a coil wrapping inside. So I'm real pleased to see the strength in this unit, especially when I'm replacing a unit that's still working but is definitely slower and I want to pick up speed. So it took me a little bit here to get it on the building and get it attached so it can't slide down and stay on. I had to attach it at a specific height point where there's a metal bracket in the back which then stops it from sliding down. And I'll eventually take the old one off. It's just on with zip ties too, and I'll cut that off. But I'm leaving it on right now because everything is attached to it. Cameras, wireless signaling devices, temperature monitors, humidity sensors, they're all on that old system yet. Again, I had to put an end on each side, which wasn't the worst thing in the world to do, and then put the waterproof plug on and then plug it back in. Now, I did have to drill through my house, so on the exterior of that, I'm using a GE exterior window and door silicone, and I'm just going to silicone it shut. On the inside of it, see, once it got past the plywood or OSB, whatever that is, of the wall, it was in my kind of crawl space area between floors, so it ran into that spray foam. So I just took out the spray foam, and now I'll put the spray foam back now that the wire's there, and I'll kind of re-foam it just with a can of, like Gap or something, so that'll go real easy. But overall, I'm real pleased with how install went. Like I said, setup was plug it into my computer, set up its time zone, tell it what mode to be in, and name the Wi-Fi thing and put the password in. Out here, it's going to do that building, that building, that building. It's not going to do the big goat barn, and it'll do that little clubhouse there. It should do a great job of reaching these buildings. These buildings are all within 300 to 500 feet, and they all reach with the one that's there now, but it's so darn slow. This one I'm hoping will be so much faster. So inside again, back in the basement where the box was that we pulled all this wire from, it's finally time to cut it off and put an end on this wire. I would say, a box of wire, it didn't cost me that much. I'd say about $50, and I got plenty of it left. And a couple ends and a tool was probably about another $50 because I had to buy the tool. And then once I got that done, it was just a matter of the device. And I don't know what everybody else can buy these for, but I was able to get the device for a couple $100. I got a friend who was willing to help me buy it and made sure I bought a good one, and that was fantastic. I see online they're listed for about $260 to about $325. So I might have gotten a little bit of a break from my friend, and I'm real appreciative of that because, community and family and church friends are great, and they really help you out. So no gripe to that. So again, I'm probably out 200 some for the machine. I'm out about $50 for tool and a couple ends, and wire is out about $50. But of course, I got a lot more ends left, and I got a lot more wire left. So I'll just hang on to all that stuff. And overall, I'm in pretty good shape for probably spending a little over $300. I got it plugged in now. It's up and running. It's turned on. It's plugged into the internet, and the cord plugs in all the way to the outside. And things are going really well here at this point. This project is only about 2 hours in. Wi-Fi looks like it's handling it well, so now out to test it. The first thing I noticed when I stepped outside and looked at my signals, RMS wavelength is the new device. The next one is the 2.4G, and the next one's the exterior 5G. I noticed their signal strength at the exact same spot in the yard was a little less. Then here's the big one. This is my old system running right now. 7.8 as the download and 16 megabytes per second on the upload speed. That's the one I currently have running. This is the new one. 311 on the megabytes per second download. Upload was 319 megabytes per second. Fantastic. I don't know what that is, but that's a lot more and a lot more speed. So coming from a farm that's running on the fiber optic cable, this is going to make night and day difference for those buildings, folks. I hope if you put one of these up, it goes as easy and as simply as mine. And I appreciate you liking and watching, folks.